Hello and welcome to our WIFR FastCast. Our top story here this afternoon, firefighters rush to put out flames at a Rockford home. Rockford Fire posted about a fire on X, saying it happened in the 500 block of Triton Avenue. You can see right now the neighborhood that it happened in. Of course, once again, that was the 500 block of Triton Avenue. Now, the post went on to say the fire has since come under control and no one was hurt. Now, we will be keeping you updated on the cause of the fire as well as the extent of the damage as we learn it here in our newsroom. But just to run it back one more time for everybody, just in case you are just joining us now, Rockford Fire did rush to a house in the 500 block of Triton Avenue to put out flames. You can see here's some footage there from the scene just a couple of hours ago here. And of course, the post went on to say that the fire has since come under control and that no one was hurt. A Wisconsin man will be behind bars until 2031 after he drove drunk 7 times. 45-year-old Ronald Williamson is sentenced to 4 years in prison and 4 years of extended supervision after he was convicted for his 7th operating while intoxicated charge. On the 4th of July last year, officers stopped Williamson at a Janesville stoplight because he was in the wrong lane. Prosecutors say a blood test showed his alcohol levels at the time were .103. Sterling police arrest a 34-year-old man in connection with a drug trafficking investigation. Andrew Knapp faces several charges, including unlawful possession of cannabis with intent to deliver. In November, Sterling police began investigating reports of a drug operation in the 900 block of 7th Street. He was later taken into custody that month. Knapp is set to appear in court next on January 8th. The Northern Illinois Homeless Coalition sounds the alarm on changes to a federal grant with the goal of ending homelessness. Earlier this week, the city of Rockford announced more than $2.75 million will be available for local nonprofits, thanks to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. The department plans to increase the Continuum of Care grant to $3.9 billion next year, but some funds will be redirected to transitional housing with work requirements. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley speaks with someone from the city about their concerns with the grant, as well as a local nonprofit.
Hey folks, WIFR's Nathaniel Langley here, and there might be some pretty big changes to how the city of Rockford and the region really tackle homelessness. Be sure to tune in later today on WIFR and eventually WIFR.com to figure out how updates to federal grants may impact our local area.
And after a 2-day delay, the city of Rockford has cut down its Christmas tree for its Stroll on State centerpiece. That'll be at its new home on Main and Elm Streets in downtown Rockford. And that 40-foot tree was supposed to be cut Tuesday, but it was actually postponed until Thursday morning. Now the tree got a police escort to downtown Rockford, as you saw just a second ago, where crews trimmed and later installed that tree. And of course, coming up this weekend, volunteers will begin decorating the downtown area ahead of Stroll on State, and that tree will officially be lit Saturday, November 29th for Stroll on State.
We have an amazing drone show planned, amazing fireworks show planned. There's a brand new balloon that's being debuted in the parade. It hasn't been announced yet, so you want to see that so you can be the first, but it is another Rockford themed.
And, with that tree going up in downtown Rockford, the Forest City's Stroll on State parade may be top of mind for many. Let's take a look at some of those upcoming parades that we've got here across the state line this holiday season. And the easiest way to direct your attention to that is to turn over to our website. That's going to be WIFR.com. And of course, once you go onto our website, you're going to see this article with this headline, and that is going to say, oops, sorry, let me get that thing right out of there for you. That is going to say guide holiday parades in the Rockford area. And basically what you're going to want to do here is scroll, and for the most part you're going to see just a couple of different communities here, and for the most part I believe it's just one parade per town. But as we do continue on throughout the rest of the holiday season, I'm sure that those parades are going to be updated, and more communities and towns and cities are going to be added onto this article as well. That being said, taking a look here, you can see we've got the Light Up the Park Park's Holiday Parade for Loves Park, as well as the Grand Lighted Holiday Parade, which we've been talking about here on WIFR the last couple of days. That's going to be up in Beloit, Wisconsin. Of course, like I was saying just a second ago, we've got the 13th Annual Stroll on State Parade, and that's going to be coming up here next Saturday. Over in Belvedere, we've got Hometown Christmas, and then you can go walk with Santa at the parade over there in Sycamore. And don't forget about the lighted parade over there in Rockton. And of course, like I said, these are going to be updated as we learn more from the different communities and things like that are hosting different parades during the holiday season. But for now, the best way that you can find all of those confirmed holiday parades are going to be on this website, or on our website, on this article here called Guide Holiday Parades in the Rockford Area. But while we're on the topic of some of those holiday themes there, we can't help but talk about some of the temperatures that we're going to be experiencing here really across the state line, not even just this week, but really next week as we enter into really Thanksgiving here. So let's take a look at how our 7-day forecast shakes out here. Let me turn things over to there right now. So as you can see out there in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, it looks like we actually got a little warmer than what we were anticipating here. Looks like we're sitting at about 48 degrees, and it looked like we were really only anticipating getting up to about 47 degrees. But take a look as we go into Friday. Looks like we are going to be sitting around this same territory, looking like a high of 47 degrees for us on our Friday. But then look at Saturday and Sunday. Man, oh man, look at that. 50 degrees there for our high on Saturday, and then we've got a total of a 10-degree hike there from Friday to Sunday, going to 57 degrees there for us on our Sunday. But man, oh man, look at Monday, Tuesday, bringing some of those rain chances back. And then something else that we want to take into note there, look at that big fall there from Tuesday to Wednesday. 54 degrees for us there for our high on Tuesday. And then take a look at Wednesday, 40 degrees for our high. So it definitely is going to be certainly a chillier Thanksgiving here for us. And I know a lot of folks are maybe going to be outside, probably decorating for Christmas. I know a lot of folks kind of like to get their Thanksgiving stuff done maybe the day after on Black Friday. Might seem like maybe this year you might want to get those Christmas decorations up just a little bit earlier this year. Maybe save your cold hands and fingers. Make sure they don't fall off there from the cold. Not that anything like that would happen. Now, those stories that I mentioned here just a couple of minutes ago will be coming up in our shows. Those will be at 4, 5, 6, and 10. And of course, to get the latest news in the state line and across the country, you can head to our website, like I was saying, WIFR.com, or you can head to the WIFR News app or download our WIFR First Alert Weather app for those updates as soon as they come across our meteorologist radar. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll see you coming up here in a little less than 10 minutes for WIFR News First at 4.